Last week, I uploaded a video that touched on a style called Dark Cottagecore, but with the video only being 60 seconds long, the description of the design style that I gave was relatively brief. Today, we're going to expand on the Dark Cottagecore design style and ways that you might be able to implement it. If you're a returning subscriber, hit the thumbs up. If you're new here, hopefully by the end of this video, you will be a subscriber. The best way to style the inside of your home is to use designs and features that you connect with. And the only true way to connect with the design is to understand why it exists and where its origins stem from. So firstly, let's start with that. Regular cottagecore embraces fresh life, the blooming of new life, and the sustainment of peak existence. The origins lie in a romanticism of old-world English farm homes. Though vintage, the style is cozy and welcoming. There's a communal feel, and you get the sixth sense that a neighbor could stop by at any moment asking if they could borrow some sugar. Dark cottagecore is similar in that it utilizes normal cottagecore aesthetics. It also holds the same deep respect for Mother Nature and sustaining yourself off the grid. But it views all of this through a more murky and mysterious lens. It is a contrasting interpretation of its counterpart, with the perception that old-world living was not always sunshine and rainbows, that it was harsh, that environments were not always favorable, and that survivability depended on the small pockets of light in a dimly lit world. So if you're feeling adventurous and inspired by the darker and colder months, let's talk about ways that you can create this look. We'll begin with the palette of colors. We're aiming for darker and bled color tones with pops of rich color. Our rich color will most abundantly come from the outside life that we bring into our home, meaning plants and foods we may display. For the most part, everything else will have a dark and dampened tone. Think faded browns and beiges, dim reds and purples, rusted oranges, worn greens and whites, and of course, shades of black. You may now be thinking to yourself, I'd like to create the atmosphere that you're showing us in these photos. But if I were to try to convert my place into looking like these photos that you're showing us, it would require a full overhaul. And for most of you, I'd say that's probably correct. And if you have the means and the time to do so, go for it. But if you don't, or you don't feel like committing to a full overhaul, I still have some suggestions for you. Switch out brightly colored photos and art pieces to resemble those of times past. Photos that would be black and white, and artistic renderings that look like they may have been completed with black ink on rudimentary mediums. Instead of having blooming spring-like flowers and plants, incorporate withered flowers and bouquets of dried branches. The deep greens you will have will be that of bushes and trees which are designed to live through the harsh winters, like evergreens. Remember that this style revolves around reminiscences of past centuries, where some of the luxuries we have today didn't exist. Use candles and lanterns in the evening to light your home as opposed to the traditional electric ceiling lights. Whether you have a fireplace or not, having chopped wood stacked somewhere is a nice touch. Try switching out the perfectly smooth glass white dishware and mugs for materials like copper, tin, and aluminum. If you're a person who displays your cookware, pack away the modern Teflon-coated pans and bring out the cast irons, along with the worn metal pots that show their age. Wooden and metal trays can be used as the base of table centerpieces. Winter and forest bird feathers laid across mantles or placed in jars can be a nice addition. During the darker seasons, foraging and gathering would have been commonplace among those that lived deep in the woods. Feel free to bring raw chestnuts, walnuts, and the likes thereof in your home. Pile them in a dish or add them to a jar. As I mentioned before, the rich color would mainly come from life outside. Fall and winter vegetables can certainly be brought in and displayed. My personal opinion is that those of red and orange hues look best in this style. Animal skulls are something you would incorporate to fully pull together the design scheme. You can, of course, get fake ones off Amazon or Home Goods or wherever you'd like to shop at. Layers of hides and plush throws would absolutely be appropriate to toss over the couch and bed. This list is to help you get the wheels turning and generate some ideas for you. But by no means are you restricted only to the items that I mentioned in the list. Have fun with it and see what you come up with. As always, if you like the video, hit the thumbs up. If you feel like sticking around a while, feel free to subscribe.